Hello, Facebook Ads people. I'm Konstantinos, and this is the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Hello, Facebook Ads people. So, another podcast today. Back to our routine after stopping for summer. Today I have less questions because obviously in the previous two I answered a lot of them. And I do believe that because this period right now is going to be a little bit of better period comparing to what we had so far on September, there are not going to be as many questions. So first of all, I would like to say that in the last week more, we have better results on the platform. The situation is this: we had medium June, very good July, very good August for several companies. For others, it was medium. And we had a bad September, one of the worst months we have seen in the year. It was September. Even on very strong accounts, we could see ROAS dropping. I did a lot of consulting calls this month because a lot of people were struggling. The thing is this, when things are not doing well and you have, and I have seen this pattern a lot, okay? Shout out, I'm not going to say your names, but I shout out to you that we have done this call and stuff. I showed them my accounts and how I handled the crisis. And the situation is that when things are not doing well, you're just not doing anything. You're just lazy, waiting for things to be fixed. And when things are doing better, then you do your next push and so on. Why? There are two factors to that. First of all, we will never know what happened to Facebook. Is it something that Facebook did internally? Is it because a lot of people started advertising? In some other accounts, for example, we see worse results, but we don't see the CPMs rising. So a lot of people might think that, okay, I'm not seeing the CPM, so there's no more advertisement over there. Why is it doing bad? No matter if you see CPMs rising or if you see CPMs getting lower or whatever, in a bad period, all the other accounts are doing worse from previous periods. That being said, I'm preparing 3 case studies that I'm showing a whole year of how I managed ad accounts and showing you that in average in the whole year it's working. Now, I do understand, and sometimes I really like the fact that I'm getting messages from you doing consulting because it brings me back to reality. When you go through the point of having another account after spending 10, 20K, 30K profitable, and then you scale it to 500,000 or 300K per month or whatever that may be, you lose a little bit your touch with what is happening with the new ad accounts. And somebody told me, but I don't have the luxury of not doing nothing during the period because I'm just losing money. And I totally get it because in most of the times what I'm consulting of not doing anything, that means now, I'm saying things, I mean some other things, but I need to change my wording in order to be aligned with everyone. So my new phrase is going to be, as long as you're not losing money, keep it. As long as you're losing money for 1-2 days, keep it. If it goes more than that and you cannot afford it, of course, close your ads, lower your budgets, do whatever you want. But just so you know, you open the Pandora's box in a bad period when you do that. The truth is that if you have a business that is having numbers that they are in the verge of being profitable or not, you will be super affected from time to time because you don't have the capacity and the limit to drop a little bit your profitability in order to overcome a bad period. If you're not in that case, well, sadly, Facebook ads is a very competitive space with a lot of people entering now and all of that. Second thing, if you have a strong ad account and your break-even ROAS, for example, is 4 or 3 and you're getting 5, first of all, start scaling more. Because the more you don't scale, you're happy right now with your ROAS, but the more you don't scale, the more you leave market space to someone else from your competitors to take this market space. We will discuss a little bit about this on the Black Friday strategy. But the other thing is that you need to understand that dropping a little bit your ROAS doesn't mean necessarily that this is going to stay like this in the next month. And in the case studies that I'm preparing as videos, most probably they will be live in the next week or so, some of them, you will be able to see that there are months that are doing bad and the next month you're doing even better. Why? Because I wasn't doing anything. I was maintaining my spend, okay? And then when I have seen things improving, then I pushed immediately to do new ads and take more spend. Why? If you think of it, we have a marketplace over here that, let's say we have just a stupid number, 50 sales per day that they have to be distributed among different advertisers. These are people that they're ready to buy. Facebook knows it. They're just ripe fruit and it's going to give the sales here and they're just distributing them. If you have bad results, that means that this number either is getting lower than the people that are going to buy, or it means that instead of having 100 advertisers, for example, here we have 150. So each one is going to get less sales. That being said, when you see after a bad period your results getting better, that means that some of these other people, they stopped advertising, which means that this is the period that you should push. Because if you push and you show to Facebook that, okay, I want to spend more, then you're going to take bigger share of the pie, and the other people that they stopped advertising, or the people that they are not scaling, they are not taking this market share, they're just staying at the same, and eventually if you push, you're going to start taking also some chunks of their market. I hope it makes sense, and I hope that you understand how it's working. This is why a lot of times we talk about Facebook and about scaling all the time, and we don't talk about maintaining like the thing that we do on Google. Facebook is all about scaling all the time, because if you don't, somebody else is going to scale and take your market. If you don't understand that, then okay, you're going to make some profits for 1-2 years, but after that, you're going to start losing ROAS, eventually dying, and your company or whatever that may be, it's going to die. It's completely different though if you have established a level of scaling and you don't want to scale past that, but you're already taking a good chunk of the market. Now, that being said, I think that we analyzed the bad periods and stuff, as I said, and I'm focusing a lot on that because I have seen people that the moment they had some bad results in the last 5-7 days, they just went and they closed everything and stuff, and they were never able to recover after that point for the whole month. So you have a good period on June, July, August. You have some good campaigns that they are 3 months old and they are running, they have a lot of data. And the first 5-6 days that you get some bad results, you just go and you just close them. I don't find it correct. And from consulting with these people, I have seen that when they close, the new ads that they did, they never recovered, because after that you start watching Konstantinos, another person, you're just blending all of their different strategies, you're just doing this and that, and you're just moving like a headless chicken, doing things here and there that are not going to help you at all, because you're just doing a small mistake here, and all of these, they do compile to the biggest mistake, which is actually ruining your whole structure that you built in the past 3 months. That being said, these people, when they run new ads, they compete with the new CPMs from all the other people that they're panicking that they're doing, and people like me who are experienced, they just sit back and they just watch the bloodbath going. Of course, as I said, you need to have the experience. You need one of the biggest things on Facebook ads is the fear, okay? And you need to overcome your fear of spending and being afraid. I do understand it's difficult when it involves your own money. It took me years to overcome my fears and not being afraid bigger spends. And there is always a new milestone that you need to pass when you are doing more and more campaigns and you're scaling more. There's always going to be a milestone that you're going to be afraid. My milestone right now of not being I'm not afraid spending 500k in an account. It's on my comfort zone now, but I do afraid a little bit on 1 million per month. It is a little bit stressing. The other problem with Facebook ads is that because we spend so much money, we tend to lose a little bit the reality with money. So for example, 10k for me right now, if I think of it, it's nothing because I'm spending it daily in some ad accounts. So this is another problem with Facebook ads, along with not gambling. Okay, you should not gamble with the money of someone else, and a lot of times it's really intriguing to do another campaign which is higher spend and stuff. But with experience, you also lose that. The only thing that you don't lose after that point is that you lose the feel of money, and you don't understand how big are these numbers that you're spending. It's just something, super normal for you. And in your real life, then I remember this thing, guys. I'm going to tell you this. So I was on my parents' house. My parents, they're living with their pensions, and they're taking 1K each one of them per month, and they were watching the show in Greece, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And there is a guy, there's a guy who won 5,000 or 10,000, I don't remember. And they were looking and they said, "Oh my God, he won $5,000, 10,000." And I told him, "What the this is nothing. What the is he going to do with $5,000? And I could see in their eyes that they couldn't believe that I was telling them this thing. And they said, "You can do so many things with $5,000." And I said, "Okay, maybe it's because I'm spending in one account right now 12K, and another one 8K, and another one another 10K, and another one 6K." You lose a little bit the feel of how much money these other accounts are spending, and this is going a little bit into your daily life. Anyway, um, so this is the situation with the bad periods and how you should manage them. I think that the case studies, guys, because over there I'm showing average results of every month and how it progressed, I think they're going to help you a lot. And I'm going to do also another case study after Black Friday, because these are the accounts that you will see on the case studies. I'm going to scale them a lot during Black Friday with a plan that we're going to discuss now. And I would love to share that with you. I hope that's going to do well. Now, that being said, just to conclude, when we have a bad period, if you can afford it, I need to say that, because there are some people that they cannot afford it, and this has nothing to do with Facebook, because it has to do with Facebook because it's a competitive platform. If you're in the verge of losing or making money every month, in the bad periods you're just going to lose money and you will have to stop or lower your spend a lot. But if you are making profits and you can just soak the damage of some days, for example, you make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per day, and for 7 days you're losing $100, for sure go for that, because it's going to you're going to keep your momentum. You're going to take the market of someone else who was not trained enough, not experienced, not having so good numbers as you, that you would able to soak it. All of that, do it, because it's proven now after so many bad periods that this is the right course of action. And the moment you start doing one change here, you are just opening the Pandora's box, and all of these mistakes compile a huge mistake, ruining your ad account. And doing new ads, it's always competing with the new CPMs, while you can maintain older CPMs and optimized campaigns in a period which is bad for you to launch new campaigns. Also, testing new creatives and new things in a bad period doesn't make any sense, because if they're going to work in a bad period, it's much stronger. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that they're not going to work in a good period, and then in a bad period sustain the results that they had in a good period. I hope that you understand it. I'm pretty sure that 95% of you is not going to do it, because you are panicking when you do it. And also, I do understand the argument, you are having access to 20 accounts, we have one ad account, how the are we supposed to know that it's a bad period? I don't know, Reddit or whatever that may be. But I have an advantage against you, because I can watch it. But let me tell you that it's not only me. I can understand it from your comments. The moment that we have a bad period, everybody is sending me comments. I'm booking a hell lot, crazy amount of consulting calls, and I'm also which are helping also a lot of times people. On that case, let me lower, which is helping also a lot of times people on how to overcome it or understand it. But a lot of times I go to other accounts that already the damage that was done was so big that they have to start all over again when the good period comes again. And also have friends that they do Facebook ads, and they tell me exactly the same patterns. When I tell them that, hey, I had 2 good days, they have also 2 good days, and so on. And it's not related to CPMs always. Sometimes it's not about the CPMs, it's about some bad days. Sometimes it's about some good days. And you can see in some other accounts that the CPMs are also being influenced, in some others they're not. Now, second topic for today is that in the previous podcast I told you that I was having a meeting with someone from the Meta engineering team to answer some of my questions. Wrong, because they sent me an email and they told me that my questions were technical but not aligned with the ad account that I was receiving customer support for. And my question is, I didn't continue with it because I was really pissed, because I was doing the podcast and I was trying to finish it super fast in order for me to go on that call. And basically they sent me a mail 5 minutes before, most probably because from what I know from Ireland at that point it's the soft ice cream time, so most probably they wanted to go to eat ice cream instead of work. So the thing is that they didn't answer anything. They just sent it one mail telling that these are not questions that are related to their account. I don't know how am I supposed to make a so if I'm asking how is Advantage Plus working exactly, how can I make this question related to another account? I cannot. It's a technical question. It's a general question for the whole platform. Anyway, in their mail they sent me and they told me, I asked them about 8 Advantage Plus campaigns because I want to do more in ad accounts. If it's going to increase or decrease, they told me that it's not going to change. I asked them about the pixel removal and the explanation of dataset and what has changed. They told me that datasets is an umbrella of ways to get the data from apps and pixel and API and everything, and they have no information about pixel removal yet. I asked them if Meta is focusing now only on broad, and if there are any engineering teams that they do focus on interests and lookalikes right now, and if we should, because if nobody is working on them, they're not fixing them or they're not trying to improve them, then we should just do broad and just do it as an only if it's necessary to do lookalikes and interests, but focus only on broad. They refused to reply, actually telling me to focus on broad, but anything else might work and needs to be tested. It reminds me of a phrase that says, well, if it's sunny, it's not going to rain. Okay, we know that. So giving answers like this is not going to help at all. Anyway, that was the case. I was super frustrated. But it is what it is. I'm not expecting anything anymore from Meta. Sadly, there's no support in the level of actually talking with people like me that manage a lot of accounts in order to understand more the platform. And we have to. Do you know what I'm afraid of? If I want to be honest, I'm trying to explain things again and again that they resonate based on my experiences and stuff. And I don't know if I'm 100% correct. This is what really bugs me. Because, okay, I'm observing this and that, I'm spending money, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to explain it in a simple way for you and for me also, and for my students. But I'm not 100% sure if this is true. I'm not 100% sure. This is why I'm always saying that I'm sharing my experience based on what I see, and that you should not discard the experiences that other people share because maybe they have seen something else. The hot pockets, for example, okay? Somebody might disagree with it. This is my explanation based on my experiences optimizing ads and stuff, and this is how I managed to explain what is happening. Is it true? We will never know. But based on that, I was able to make other strategies that are working across accounts and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I'm walking in a really dark room, and I'm trying to find things by feel. But it doesn't mean necessarily because the lights never open from Meta. It doesn't mean necessarily that I'm touching things, but it doesn't think not anything kinky. But it doesn't mean that necessarily the thing that I'm saying that I'm touching is correct. Okay. For example, I might be touching a pointy thing. I think that it's a knife, but maybe it's the horn of a rhinoceros, for example. Okay. Who knows? Because there is no light coming from the other side to tell me that no, you're right to this and that. Okay, I'm discussing with a lot of people, and they tend to believe the same things a lot of times, and then you're discussing with other people, they believe other things. But at the end of the day, not having access to the engineering team is a little bit problematic because uh, okay, I have my own ideas. I'm open to discuss them and see if they're true or not, but nobody wants to do that from the other side. So I will continue like this. Look, it's working, okay? At least it's working. So I'm not desperate for it, but my need of understanding more the platform and Facebook ads and everything, it's making this a little bit of like a suffering, okay? Because you want to actually know if you are right or not instead of thinking that you're a crazy scientist. And of course, to be honest with you, YouTube helped me a lot to that. And this is the reason that I made YouTube, because I wanted to express all of these things. And that was my way out instead of talking only to Jonathan, my friend, or some other people. Now I have this direct communication with you that we're talking about these things. And I'm seeing that I'm not crazy, because if you talk only with Jonathan, you might think that you and Jonathan are crazy or you are influencing Jonathan too much. Right now, people that they don't even know me or consider me as their friends, they're just strangers. They might like me or they might dislike me. We'd have a consensus here and we disagree or agree on things on Facebook, and this is helping me a lot. Um, One thing, for example, if I didn't have you telling me this comment that was telling me, okay, you are saying about the bad periods, but can I do it on my end if I'm losing money every day? No, you are right. You're totally right. I was wrong. I was phrasing a thing from the comfort zone of a good ad account, not from seeing the whole picture and talking about, okay, do it if you have a good ad account and you reach to the point that you can not be losing money or lose a little bit of money, keep it. But if you lose a lot of money, close it. You're right. So there are things that I'm not always thinking, okay? But it is what it is, and I always try to improve. And I think that this relationship is actually super healthy, because it helps me a lot to recalibrate my thoughts about some things, and to think more about some others, and to be certain about some others, if I can be certain, let's say 99% certain. Because I'm not going to put my hand in the fire for or dying over a hill about any of my ideas for Facebook, because I truly believe that if Facebook doesn't come in an honest way and say that yes, this is true, then I would never be sure about anything of the things that I'm saying of Facebook, or anything of the things that anyone is talking about Facebook. And I'm not talking about a Meta rep, I'm talking about someone from the engineering team, because from my visit to Meta, I truly believe that 90% of the people over there, they're just doing things here and there that they might be needed for Meta or not. I don't know. I'm not going to judge if they're going to be fired or not. It's not about that. I know that the customer support is bad and there are a lot of things to be improved, but I cannot just criticize if they're working or not. But I do understand that in such big companies, only the 5 or 10% is the ones that they're really the ones that they're deep involved with the product. They know what is happening, and I would love to have access to some of them so that I can talk about these kind of things. But I truly believe that this is never going to happen, because these people are just out of reach. Um, That's it, enough of me crying about this kind of stuff. Let's go. Black Fridays. What are we going to do on the Black Friday? I had a video the previous year. I'm going to do another one. I will post it as soon as I can, explaining my sides about Black Friday. So, given the situation right now, if you were in the sport that you were having good months and you were experienced enough to maintain your spend during September without lowering it a lot, what you need to do is you need to do some campaigns on October and some campaigns on early November, trying to get a little bit more the spend up and then spend everything on Black Friday. The way that we're going to structure this is like this. For other accounts that they didn't lower the spend, I will give you an example. For example, you can make the numbers for your. First of all, before we make the numbers, let me tell you that every Black Friday, when it's over, I do tend to say always that I should have spent more here, I should have spent more here, there. It's never enough. So this year I'm even going to go much higher from what I would spend, and I will see how it goes. I truly believe that it can support it because I have very strong roots from the previous whole year. In another account, for example, that I started with 20k on August, I scaled it right now to 300k this month, and I'm going to go to 350k or maybe 350k or 400k on October, most probably 350, and then I'm going to go to 500k spent on November. How am I going to do that? I'm going to launch a campaign, a new campaign or a set of campaigns or mid-October. I'm going then to launch some new campaigns, some new campaign or campaigns. You can do the numbers and the math based on what you do at the start of November, middle of November, and then I'm going to start Black Friday ads that are going to be starting on Monday or Tuesday as a pre-Black Friday promo early access, something like that. Now, a lot of people are doing that, and the reason for that is this. Because you want to give enough time for your ads to actually have some spend and some data when they enter the Black Friday, where you're going to scale your budgets a lot. For example, if you have a campaign of 1,000, you will take it to 2,000-3,000 just immediately for this Black Friday day. The best day is Friday, the second best day is Monday, the third best day is Sunday, and the fourth best day is Saturday, fifth one is Monday. Just so you know, this is how it works. I'm talking about revenue and volume. And when you get data because people start buy for Black Friday, but most people are going to buy on Friday. And this is the period that you need to bump up your spend a lot. This is why we do pre-sale, and this is why I like to, in all the companies that I'm working with, I'm not doing specific ads for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I'm just doing a general copy, BFCM for example, that it's going to have the same promo so that I can start it on Monday, Tuesday and finish it on the next Monday for a whole week without me changing or launching new ads for Cyber Monday and stuff, because okay, Black Friday, what are you going to launch? New ads for Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Doesn't make any sense. It's a little bit of problematic because a lot of people are going to start ads over there. So it's going to be an issue. And the thing is that you need to just have one campaign running for all that period and also scaling during these days as you go. So this is number one, a general copy, general promo, which is going to say the same of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Try to do the best that you can in terms of an offer. People expect to see a very good offer. It's not about the offer that you give. For example, let's say Secret Lab, for example, okay? It's one example. Secret Lab can do 10%, for example, for a chair, because I don't remember even the price. I don't remember if they do 500 or 1000. I don't remember. So let's say that they do 10%. This is $100, but they don't say 10% off for Black Friday. They send $100 off. It looks better, okay? So the things that you do on Black Friday, it has to be a clean code, something easy to use. The second thing, it has to be very clear to the client. And the third thing, the client needs to understand that this is a good offer. Now, if you say 10% or if you say 100 off, it's the same thing. But 100 off looks better because somebody says, okay, I'm going to just take it with $100 less. That being said, please be careful of your wording. A lot of people are doing buy two get one free, buy three get one free, whatever that may be. I have companies that are going to do 40% site-wise. You might think that this is a lot, but let me tell you that based on the volume that we get, the ROAS is even higher from what it is on the normal period without a promo. It's totally there, and they do only 40% once per year. One big client that I have which has big average order value, their biggest promotion ever, it was 20%. They're going to do 25%, which is a lot. If you think that somebody is buying something for 1,000 as an average order value and they save 250, it's a lot. So that's a good opportunity over there. So with the codes and the promos, just do the best that you can and don't worry because the volume is going to cover it and you're going to make a good amount of money. Don't be afraid of giving a little bit more of your profit to the offer. You're going to be compensated for that. The second thing is the period that you're going to run it. As I said, just try to keep it the same and try to scale every day until you reach the final day on Black Friday, that you will scale a lot, and then you will maintain that spend and maybe spend a little bit more based on the ROAS that you are getting. Also, you can also spend more on weekends if it's doing well. The next thing is do other campaigns that are going to be as evergreen and start them at the mid of October, start of November, middle of November, based on how much you want to scale or not scale. You can skip one of these, but you need to scale more, and you need to try, for example, if you spend 100K, you need to try to go to 200K, 250K. In order for you to go there, you will need these extra campaigns because you cannot just rely in 1 week in order to scale so much. So you do the extra campaigns. Even if you are losing a little bit of money, keep them, because all of these campaigns are going to be flooded with results, and instead of having 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 campaigns on Black Friday only, you will have all of the other campaigns that they are also going to be working with evergreen copy and stuff, something that is going to stay even after Black Friday. But they will go into the Black Friday period. They're going to be flooded with data, and all of this is going to help you to maintain a spend, because it's not only about how much you're going to spend on the Black Friday period, but it's also about the money that you're going to spend on the next period also. So for me, I'm trying to take another account, let's say to 500K spend, because I want to spend the next periods 350 to 400K consistently in the whole year, so that the next year I can spend 1 million on Black Friday. As I said, when we have good periods, we do increase, because if we don't increase the spend, someone else is going to take it from us. That's a strategy. Previous campaigns, build them, keep them as evergreen. Try to maintain a spend after the Black Friday. Do the promos and the stuff that we discussed, and I think that you're going to be fine. I'm going to make a dedicated video also about that, but always podcasts, they have faster information from the videos. Let's go to your questions. Hey, great content yet again. I have a question. Evgeny, I haven't seen you for a long time. I hope you're doing well. I have a question regarding the Facebook Pixel. I recently got information from HTTP Pool that if you haven't advertised in a year, the learning of your Facebook Pixel doesn't really matter. Is it true? Also, where is the information learning stored? Within the Pixel or ad account? Now, again, let's enter the dark room and let's discuss about it, because they don't share this information. The thing is this, let's take it by the, normal logical approach. When you do events, a custom audience based on an event, it's 180 days. That being said, we know that for 180 days, the pixel can create a custom audience based on the previous 180 days. After that, maybe it's losing data. I don't know why they don't have it more. Secondly, we have 365 days for other events like video views, people who engage with your Instagram, and so on. So I'm guessing that we have also the 1 year that you are mentioning here. So if you're not running any ads for 1 year, basically you cannot create any custom audience. Does this mean that you're not having any data on your pixel? They are being erased, for example. Personal experience. I have been taking a brand. They had a pixel that was running for 5 years. They removed the pixel from the site. And then 2 years later, they wanted to advertise again. They put the same pixel again. I'm doing ads. It works since the first day. I don't know if it's a coincidence or something, but I do know that it worked. The other thing is that over there in this ad account, we were having high spends. So I do believe that the ad account was also considered a good ad account. Now, can we go into the conspiracy theory of thinking that, okay, you come back and Facebook wants to be sweet with you and gives you sales so that you can start spending again as a good advertiser? Maybe, who knows? But I can tell you that a pixel which was inactive for 2 years, it worked immediately with broad targeting and it didn't show any signs of being a new pixel or whatever. And it was out of the site, by the way, okay? So it wasn't gathered data there. The second is that the ad account is also important because if you have a very old ad account with credibility that was spending a lot of money and stuff, I think that this is helping you a lot in order to get some good quality traffic. So I do believe that, and the pixel stores data, but also the ad account stores data, but they are different kinds of data. Pixel is more about the ideal avatar client, and the ad account is more about good quality clients in general, okay? Not specific tailor-made for you, but good clients. So it's a combination. Your pixel shows, okay, I want this pool of people, and the ad account says, okay, in this pool of people, these are the good people that they're buying, and they're good customers and stuff, so let's target them. And then Facebook tries to give you the best that it gets out of them. If you had a new pixel and a new ad account, your pixel doesn't know who to target, and your ad account doesn't know. It doesn't know. Your ad account is not getting information from Meta because it's a new ad account and a risky ad account on who are the good people that it has to target within the whole audience. Next one. Hey Konstantinos, thanks a lot for the value you're giving us for free. I've learned a lot with you, and yet I consider to have already a few years of experience with Facebook ads. Thank you. One question I have is how would you go about doing Facebook ads for a brand that has clearly several winner products, which kind of relate to the same audience but not completely either? I guess it is not the same products, it's never 100% the same audience, but it's the same niche. It really matters here if you have the same products with the same average order values, okay? Because if you have a product with $20 average order value and one product that when you sell it, it gives you 120, you cannot group them together. But if they're on the same average order value, you can group them together. Would you do like you do normally, all the creatives in the same campaign and ad sets, or would you do separate campaign per product? To be honest with you, the way that you said, I would do different campaigns, but why? Because I find it a way of scaling. Okay, so if you would like to do the sales to all of the products, no, I would do different, because even in lower spend, I would just focus on your best bestseller, just to be sure that I'm getting sales. And if you want it more, I would ask for more budget to scale like this, because other products in the same niche, if they're selling well, there are also very good points for you to sell more. Something that now that I remember that I forgot to mention about Black Friday is that Black Friday is also a good period for customers to get to know a new brand. So having a very good promo, along with the way that people are ready to test other things, it's very good initiation so that you can onboard a lot of new clients inside your site. Let's say, for example, an underwear. Okay, let's say that you buy your underwears. When you are in the normal period of the year, you're buying your underwear for the same place every time. You might buy some underwear also from the place that you like from Black Friday and their promo. It's a good offer and you want to buy more. But you might see an advertisement and you might say, okay, I might try this one also because it's having a good offer. So this is a good thing because you might end up liking this underwear that you're buying then more, and then don't buy from the other one again, just continue buying from that. Black Friday is a very good period for this specific initiation. Okay, it's a very good way of new clients coming and just testing things, along with other promos. But Black Friday is the epitome of that. I also answered to you, Jim, about I would do different campaigns for the reason of scaling and for the reason of. But technically, if your average order value of products is the same, you can actually go and you can do them even in one campaign if you want to group them. I just don't see the reason about that. I would still focus to your best bestseller, and I would use the extra products for scaling. Next one. Hi, one question. We had, he means Advanced Plus, stable ROAS all the time. We're working about 4 years and everything was okay. We check the accounts okay, funnel is okay, ads and creatives are okay, no bugs, but September was total loss. The things that I'm telling you, such a bad month. I've never ever seen such a nonsense. Did you see a drop in the sales in some of your accounts? Not in some, in all of them. The thing here is what you have done. If you went and you did changes because you panicked during that period, you just make the situation worse. If you just let it, okay, you're talking about now. You're talking about now about a bad month, but I do get that you're frustrated, but you will be compensated later. So yeah, it was a bad month, as I said, and my whole introduction, it was about this and stuff, so I feel like I answered everything there. Next one, we have Lenny. Popcorn is ready for Disruptors interview. He haven't sent me yet an email, so we will see. I hope that we can organize it. Also, I'm seeing that running another comment. Also, I'm seeing that running catalog and Advanced Plus and conversion campaign together increase CPMs. Actually, I haven't seen that, to be honest with you. Actually, running catalog with Advanced Plus, it's lower CPMs in most of the case for me. Maybe Meta is also going Google way, where in performance max campaign completes to still spends from other catalog lead campaigns with same account. Have you also observed this? No, to be honest with you, no. But what I have observed is that when you run a catalog in an Advanced Plus campaign, it gets all of the budget. No matter what other creatives you are going to put there and you have a catalog, the catalog is going to get everything. This is why I never put an Advanced Plus campaign with catalog and other creatives, because it's a lost cause. Next one. Hi, it's from the same person. Hi, how would you know that the poor results are due to dying ad sets of dying platform performance? How do you know that the poor results are due to dying ad sets or dying platform performance? It's not because of either of the two. It's because of either a lot of people they are advertising, not because the platform is dying. A lot of people advertise, so we have more volume. One of your competitors has done a big bump on the spend, but not in this period because this period was bad for everyone. Or Facebook is doing a change on the platform that we don't know, and it's affecting it. I find it more difficult to understand the cause of poor performance in the first 2-3 days of the dry period, but when I already changed dying ad sets? Also, during the bad times, do you duplicate poor performing ad sets or do nothing at all? I do nothing at all, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm going to play a little bit with the budgets individually, but not much. Thanks for being honest results. When I keep hearing experts getting great results all the time, including September, I begin to lose confidence in my ad account. I can also show you ad accounts in September having good results, but am I comparing them to the previous months? It's not that that I had bad accounts. I had accounts that they did okay. For example, instead of doing 6 rows, they did 5 rows. Okay. In a specific ad account that I'm thinking right now. The break-even rows is 4. Does this mean that it was unprofitable? It wasn't, but it was a bad period comparing to that. So that being said, let me tell you that me and everybody else, I am trying to show also failures in the channel, but it's not always easy. It's not that I'm not having fails in accounts. I have accounts that I failed miserably. I didn't do well. Don't expect from anyone to have only wins on their other accounts. Whoever is saying that, I actually had an argument with a Greek guy about that. He was telling me that he has 30 ad accounts with 4 rows, all of them. And I called him a liar, and I told him that there's no way that he's doing that. And he was a little bit cocky from the side that I do believe that he was talking to me and he was already believing his lie. Which is sad, because you cannot trick me. I know the industry. You cannot say that you have only 4 ROAS account. Even the only 4 ROAS, it looks suspicious. Why don't you say all of my other accounts are profitable? Some of them are 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. All of them have 4 ROAS. It's a total lie, okay? It's like I'm telling you, whoever women I dated, I f***ed all of them. It's not a possibility, okay, to do so, unless if you are, I don't know who, Brad Pitt. The thing is this, you can see all of these people talk about this and that and that and the case studies that they have, but most of us, including me sometimes, we are showing the good side of the things, okay? And we're not just, imagine coming to my channel, for example, and saying, I failed on this account, I failed on this account, I failed on this account. We tend to show the things that have worked, because if they have worked, maybe they are going to work for someone else. But don't think that we are not having failures, okay? Don't think that or don't think, for example, that, okay, I'm getting 3 ROAS, I will hire Konstantinos and he's going to get 4 ROAS. No, Konstantinos is going to get again 3 ROAS, and he's going to try to scale you maintaining 3 ROAS. That's why you need someone like me, or he's going to tell you on this period that it's a bad period to maintain it, and then you're going to scale more. He's going to scale you on Black Friday and stuff like that. We're not here to improve ROAS. Facebook ads is not a platform about ROAS and having good profits. It's about volume. When you understand that, you're going to be happy with what you're doing with Facebook ads without having these huge issues all the time. So, okay, just watch the case studies and the successes of other advertisers, but just watch them from the perspective of not being jealous. Why are they doing it and I can't? Because every other account is different. They have different numbers. Just watch it from the perspective of, I have a case study, I think, in my computer that I'm showing 20 ROAS in a monopoly in a Caribbean island, from a guy that was selling from coffee to printers. There was just one store in one island in Caribbean. Of course, this other account is going to have 20 ROAS. What does it mean? That this is something that everybody should have? No. The moment he was getting 5 coffee machines, he was putting them as a boost post, for example, and they were having 10 ROAS immediately. Whatever he was getting, it was selling out because nobody else was keeping stock in the island. So don't criticize everything based on the ROAS that you see or whatever. Just see what you can do with your numbers and work with your numbers. And don't expect all the other accounts to have a flat ROAS or whatever that may be. And don't expect from everyone to just share only their losses and stuff just so that you can feel better. We're not here to share our losses, we're here to share our successes so that you can see what worked there and maybe it's going to inspire you to work also there. But this doesn't mean that I'm not admitting that I don't have failures in ad accounts. But there are people that they may tell you that because they're desperate of getting contracts, because they want to lie, because this is how they want to live, that whichever account I'm getting, I'm profitable. If you hear anyone saying that, he's lying. And I'm certain of that. He's lying. There is no way that somebody comes to you, for example, unless if they are pickpocketing extremely well their clients and they just take the ones that they are profitable. But you can just say that I'm onboarding everyone that comes to me, and whoever comes to me, I'm getting them, I'm trying to make the results better, and I'm always successful. That's a myth. And if someone comes to you and sells mobile phones, for example, and he wants to sell them super cheap with $5 profit margin to each one of the phones, it's not going to be profitable. He's going to be losing money. You cannot just fix every company that comes to you with bad numbers. This is the CEOs or someone in the financial department to find it out and fix better numbers, not to advertise on Facebook. Our job is to scale and maintain what you are getting right now on Facebook, not to just increase the ROAS magically because you run ads on Facebook. How do you believe if you have a bad store, for example, and it's not converting, why Facebook is going to improve that? Facebook is going to connect people with that store if the store is not converting. Anyway, so don't feel about people showing case studies, okay? Just see what you can learn from these case studies. Don't be jealous of the case studies and try to think why I'm not there and stuff. Try to see how you can get there, or you can get to profitability through that, to understand the philosophy and how it works. Facebook ads are not going to fix your numbers if they're bad. Next one. Can you define a dollar amount for an ad account not to be defined as a new anymore? No, because it really depends on the niche. It really depends on the cost per acquisition that you are getting. For example, you didn't say amount of sales. For example, you said amount of dollars. If you're getting $100 cost per purchase, that means that you need a lot of dollars to get to that. You will get consistency and good results, and then you're going to start understanding that your ad account is in good shape. Next question. Does Crazy Method work with Advanced Plus campaigns? It does work. I add here, you can do duplicate ad sets, multiple ad sets in Advanced Plus, but if you have a good proven creative, you can do Advanced Plus Crazy Method. Basically, you do the Advanced Plus and you duplicate a lot of times the ad. It works on several accounts on my end, and then says, how about duplicating the campaign many times? It doesn't make any sense for you to duplicate the campaign several times. You can do another Advanced Plus with other creatives, but it doesn't make any sense to duplicate it because you can scale an Advanced Plus. If an Advanced Plus is working very well for you, you can go and you can scale it horizontally. It's working very well. I haven't seen the same issues or the same way that CBO campaigns are fragile when you just scale them. So you can go and you can increase the budget on Advanced Plus without just duplicating them. We duplicate CBO campaigns in my theory because they're fragile when you try to scale them like this. But in Advanced Plus, it's completely different because you have one ad set and it's more suitable for you to scale it if it's doing pretty well. So if you have a working CBO, you don't touch it because we optimized it and we left it with some ads and stuff in the way that I teach also inside the course. But if you have a working Advanced Plus, you do a new one only if you have new creatives to test or if you have another product or other landing pages. But you can scale horizontally this one if it's doing extremely well. And by that I mean that you get, for example, you have break-even ROAS of 2 and you get 4, you should increase it, okay? How much? Initially start with double budget, so go from 100 to 200, then go to maybe every 100 to 300, 400, and then apply the rule of 20% every day as long as it continues to give you good results. When you are going to have a bad period, just maintain it like this for 7 days to see how it goes, and then see where it stabilizes. This is how you raise the budget in an Advanced Plus. But you can. Next one, hello Konstantinos. With active Advanced Plus campaign, I have noticed that the retargeting campaigns are not effective. What could be the problem? We discussed several times the same way that Advanced Plus catalog, for example, is getting all the budget. The same way I can tell you that Advanced Plus campaigns are actually stealing a lot of sales from retargeting. And I don't know the reason, but I know that it's happening, especially when you do a lot of Advanced Plus with smaller budgets, like $1,000, $2,000 per day, something like that, and 100 and 200, but I'm just giving the maximum. In that, most of the times I avoid to do any retargeting ads, or I will do something minimum with $20, $30, $50 per day, just because Advanced Plus is stealing all the sales. And you have to be okay with that, because if it's stealing the sale, it's still a sale which is coming and is being used as data in order for the Advanced Plus to have better results. In bigger spends, I can tell you that even with Advanced Plus, you need to have retargeting, because retargeting is also working there. It's not enough. Advanced Plus are not having enough volume to actually absorb all of the audience of retargeting that you will have to do. Before we go to Freelancer Diaries and the funny message that I got here, I had a question today. I don't have the print screen, but still I want to talk a little bit about it. There's a guy from Switzerland. He was talking to me about the different languages that they have there. In Switzerland, if you don't know it, they speak French, Italian on the north part. On the south part, they speak German. I believe on the west part they speak French, and they speak English on the east part. I don't know. But they have this complexity of different languages and stuff. He talked to me and in a comment, because a lot of times I refer to Switzerland, but most of the times I refer to it because I use it as a cluster. I use Switzerland, Austria, Germany in some accounts running with German language ads, because also these countries, they speak German, and it's a good addition. And I have seen it working very well as a cluster of three. And he mentioned me that you could use different languages and stuff. I told him that my personal experience from Switzerland running ads is that we have done ads with English and German language, and it was working pretty well. And he couldn't understand. He told me that okay, maybe it's working, but because German people, they tend to buy more. First of all, I would like to say that you should not make, I understand that you live in this country, but it doesn't mean that Facebook works like this. So you might think that German people, they have enough money to spend, but maybe Italians also do. So don't do this generalization just because, you think of it. If Facebook also proves it, fine. The next thing is that when you do an ad, what we were doing, okay, and the philosophy behind it was this, and this is what I want to analyze, is that I was doing a German language ad and an English language ad. The moment that the German language ad was getting some sales, then the people that they were actually buying, they were understanding German. So it was going to find more people similar to them, which means that most probably there were going to be people who understand German. So I had different campaigns optimizing for English and German, but I was actually relying on the optimization of the algorithm to find similar people to the ones that they understood and they bought on the first place, creating different hot pockets for the German and the English audience within the country. This is how it was working, and the reason and the reasoning behind that is that Switzerland is a very small country with a very small potential reach. I wouldn't do something like this in United States without specifying the language. In United States, for example, if I wanted to target a specific language, I would use the language inside the ad set level to say English or stuff, because this is a very good way for you to target minorities. You can do broad targeting and language only in order for you to target minorities that they speak Spanish, for example. Okay, but in a smaller country, you can just not use the language, just leave it open, and just use language in your ads. Because it's a very small country, you have better chances of finding sales if your pixel is good enough and the ad account is okay. And when you have the sales, it's going to optimize and create hot pockets of the different languages that you have, but this applies to smaller countries. This is why I like to say that when you do Facebook ads, you need to understand exactly what you're doing. Not doing things just because it worked for Constantinos or someone else. You need to understand a philosophy, because do you see how different I'm approaching this for Switzerland, which is a smaller country, comparing to United States, which is a bigger country? I know that in the United States, if I just use the Spanish language, my chances of somebody converting there, unless if the pixel is trained to this, it's not okay. Especially doing it with two different languages, it would be different. So that being said, I think that you need to approach every different situation, differently, and every other account differently, in order for you to be able to have the best possible results, but also things that they resonate with how the Facebook algorithm is working in a technical level. And this is what I have done with these other accounts in Switzerland, and this is why it was working, because I didn't just run ads with translate or the language or stuff. I have understood that in a small, my pixel was strong enough so that it can optimize to different hot pockets for different languages, and it was working flawlessly like that. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is a funny one because somebody sent to me this message saying, just hide his name, don't put it at all. Do you ever speak English, you idiot, I guess? And I told him to ask his mom. Basically, yeah, because your mom taught me how to speak English. I think my English is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Next one. Let's go to the Freelancer Diaries. Help on Facebook ads sales campaign. Guys, I really loved when I watched this one, because this person actually doesn't even know at all how Facebook ads are working. I need help on setting up my Facebook ads sales campaign, so I will not be charged only. So I will be charged only per sale. He thinks that it's a setting, not per impression. By the way, Facebook ads platform is actually charging you for impression. This is how the platform is built. I don't know what went wrong, but my campaign, which I pause now, is charging me by impression and by clicks and no sales. Please know which ones of the options you suggest. You check on what's wrong with my campaign. You teach me how to set up sales ads properly and charge me per sale, not by impression clicks. A tutorial video would be good on this, and I would probably send follow-up questions if needed, and then bid accordingly. The $5 is just a placeholder. He just bid it for for this. Now, nothing against this guy, but do you know? So why don't you Google it? If you Google how does Facebook charge, it's going to say by impression and stuff. You cannot just go and change Facebook to charge you by sales. You can optimize for sales, but you're going to be charged based on impressions. And it's different from Google. But I thought that it was funny. For him, it's not funny. But for us that we know about the Facebook platform and stuff, to see someone saying that, guys, something is wrong with my ad account and it's charging me by impression, and thinking that this is so crazy. This guy thinks that it's so crazy. Can you charge me for impression, not for sales? Well, this is how Facebook is actually working, my friend. I hope that you like the podcast. I feel like we covered a lot of topics also today. Not so many questions, but it's okay. And I will for sure see you on the next one. I haven't decided yet the topic, but most probably something crazy is going to happen again with Facebook, and we will have a topic to discuss about. Okay, have a nice day, and I will see you on the next one. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News Podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.